All right, we are here with part 2 of the video for chapter 15. A few more things to cover on this chapter. Now first we have, again, of course, infinitives and gerunds. That's what we're working with for all of chapter 15. Now we're going to combine it with passives. What if you want to use an infinitive or gerund with a structure that is a passive structure? So we'll talk about that one first. I was invited to Jim's party. This is a passive sentence, right? I was invited, which means probably Jim. Jim invited me will be the active part. Now, here, of course, we have everything that we need to. Don't have to worry about infinitives or gerunds or anything. But what if you add this to the sentence? I didn't expect to be invited to his party. Or, I enjoyed being invited to his party. Now you can see that here we have our main sentence, but now we're taking this passive information and putting it into that sentence. And so this is what this part of the chapter is about. How do you include this passive information into this kind of sentence? Some more examples here, then we'll talk about exactly what we're doing here. She was elected class president. There is our passive sentence, right? Other people elected her to be the class president. If we add this part, she talked about, how do we change this to an infinitive or a gerund? Well, so that is the question here. The answer to that is the same that we saw in chapter 14, gerunds and infinitives part 1. Which is to decide if this is going to be the infinitive or the gerund form, you have to look what comes right before. Now if we go back here, expect is followed by an infinitive. So that's why we don't say, I didn't expect being invited. You have to say, I didn't expect to be invited. Enjoy, however, is followed by the gerund. So if you want a passive gerund in there, you would say, I enjoyed being invited. Now let's go on to the next ones. She was elected class president. She talked about, what's that going to be? To be elected or being elected? Well, the answer is being. That's the preposition, so she talked about being elected class president. He was bullied in middle school. He was bullied. There's our passive. He remembers, what is it? To be bullied or being bullied? And the correct answer is being. He remembers being bullied in middle school. He was asked to leave. There's our original passive structure. He didn't want to be asked or being asked. Well, after want, we like infinitive. He didn't want to be asked to leave. You can check out page 338 for more on this. Exercise 18 is some very good practice. I highly recommend it to help you get prepared for the test. This part does show up prominently on the test. You'll see it several times. Now here I have a review of what we just did and some things from before. Find and fix the mistakes. One sentence is okay. I recommend that you pause the video here, check the sentences, see if you can see what the mistakes are, which sentence is okay, then we'll come back and talk about it. So go ahead and pause. Okay, I'm assuming you paused and checked it out. For number 1, I don't think, don't have the answers written here, I'll just have to explain them. For number 1, it should be he came here to study English. We talked about that in the last video. I am sorry, there's our adjective. I am sorry to hear your bad news. Adjective followed by the infinitive. Number 3, the box is too heavy, but I can lift it. That's a little bit strange. If you say it's too heavy, that means you cannot lift it. So this part has to change or this part has to change. The easiest thing to do is probably just change that to very. The box is very heavy, but I can lift it. That will work. Number 4, I want to apologize for getting angry at you. This one is fine. Nothing you have to change. There's the preposition followed by the gerund. It's not a purpose infinitive here that you want. It's just the regular preposition followed by the gerund. Number 5, she was angry to being asked her age. There again is the adjectives. We just want the infinitive. She was angry to be asked her age. Number 6, she hopes be given a good grade. The passive structure we just talked about. She hopes to be given a good grade. All right, I hope you got those okay. We've got a few more things to cover in this chapter. Verbs of perception you need to know. Which sentence is incorrect? A, I saw Mr. Reed give something to the boss. B, I saw Mr. Reed giving something to the boss. C, I saw Mr. Reed to give something to the boss. Now I hope when you heard those 3 sentences, even if you don't know the rules yet, C sounded a little strange to you. That is the one that is incorrect. A is okay, B is okay, which means you have some options here. Let's talk about why that is. Now these are special structures with verbs of perception. See someone do or doing something, we can say. Hear, it's another verb of perception. Hear someone do something or hear someone doing something. Notice, again, perceive, perception. You notice someone do or notice someone doing something. Now, here are the words that are given in your book. They're the ones I expect you to know for the test. These are all verbs of perception. Just some way that we see or hear or the other senses, feel or smell, how we perceive something. Now, if you have these kinds of verbs, this is a very specific rule. For these kinds of verbs only, we have some very nice options for how you use a gerund or the base form. I didn't hear the phone ringing, verb of perception right there. I didn't hear the phone ring. Both are okay. There is no problem there. The ing form is good. The base form is good. It's your choice. Both are okay. I like to listen to the birds singing when I wake up. I like to listen to the birds sing when I wake up. Verb of perception, both of them are okay. Now, here is something I talked about in the class. I'm not going to cover here. I just will point out briefly that sometimes we have a verb of perception and we prefer the simple form. Sometimes we prefer the gerund form. It's not going to be covered on the test. It is in the book that you can check for a little bit of exercise, but again, I'm not going to cover it here. I'll just point out that for more information on this, check out exercise 26, pages 341 and 342. Page 340, 341, that gives the rules for that. But I'm not going to cover it here because I don't include this on the test. What you need to know for the test, if we go back, is just this. If it's a verb of perception, both will be okay. For the ones that I put on the test, I'm just going to keep it to the ones that are okay in both situations. So that's all you got to remember. You see a verb of perception, remember that both of these are possible, and you'll be okay. You'll get all the answers. All right. Getting on to the next things. Using let and help. Again, which sentences look okay? My parents let me sleep in on the weekends. My parents let me to sleep in on the weekends. After I wake up, I help them do the chores. After I wake up, I help them to do the chores. Now, going a bit quickly here, B is the only one that's incorrect. If you use the verb let, you'll have the person that you are allowing, that's what let means, the person you're allowing, and you follow by the base form. And that's it. Never say with the infinitive or the ing gerund, just my parents let me sleep, they let me go, all of that. Help is the same in that if you use the verb help, you can have the base form, but you can also have the infinitive form. Not as common, but we do allow this. So that's what I say here, let equals simple form, not an infinitive. She let me drive her car, simple form. Let it go, the old Disney song. Let it be, the Beatles song. Those are some songs giving you some good grammar information. Help is okay for both forms. She helped me wash my car. She helped me to wash my car. Both are okay Remember that for the test. And the last part we need to cover. Causative verbs, make, have, and get. If I say this sentence, when I was young, I did yard work for my father. Now I could say either of any of these three sentences. I could say my father made me do yard work. I could say my father had me do yard work. My father got me to do yard work. Just depends on what my meaning is exactly. And you'll notice that I said do for the first two. Made is followed by the simple form, made me do housework, made me go, made me see. Had also followed by simple form. My father had me do yard work, had me go, had me play. For my father got me, got needs the infinitive. My father got me to do yard work. And there again are the answers to those three. Now I did talk about what the meanings are for these. On the test, this is not really so crucial to know, but it was just some useful information you to know the difference between saying made me, had me, and got me. Very briefly, the answers to those. If you say make, it means force. Gave them no choice. My mother, or the mother, made her son eat his vegetables. And again, the grammar, made, followed by the simple form, no infinitive, no gerund. Have someone do something is a request, kind of make an order. I had the mechanic fix my car. Not to fix, not fixing, just keep it simple there. I gave the request, I gave the order, it's his job to do it, and he followed it. Get equals persuade. The student got the teacher to change his grade. Persuaded the teacher, talked to the teacher, gave some reasons, made her change her mind, made the teacher change her mind, or his, depending on if the teacher is woman or female or male. Now here, just need to remember that if you use the word get, it's going to have the infinitive later. And the final thing is the passives with the causative verbs. Here is an active sentence, a mechanic repaired my car. But we can also say it like this. I had my car repaired by a mechanic. This is a passive form. Mechanic repaired my car. But I'm putting it into sort of a passive form here. You'll notice that for this part, I don't say the be verb with the passive. I drop that out. Still have the participle form. I had my car repaired. I got my car repaired. Both of those just go to for the passive form, they just go to the past participle, and that's all. No be verb, no to, infinitive or anything, that's it. The mistake here that you have to work out for the test would be something like, I got my car to be repaired. Yeah, not necessary. We don't do that. This is enough. This is enough when we use it with this kind of causative verb. I had my car being repaired, nothing like that. Just take out the be verb and put in the past participle, I had my car repaired, and you're done. And you notice here I don't have made included. Made does not really work with the passive here. Just the meaning of the word just doesn't really match with the passive. So we just don't have that. Now you can review pages 344, 345 for that. Exercise 30 and 31 are very good to review that as well. That will do it. That is chapter 15. Review the book. Get the workbook done. The workbook has all the things that you need to know as well. Some good practice. And good luck on the test.